Greg, what the hell is going on with Bill Belichick's contract?
I don't really know. And, I think this is a pretty overblown story. I mean, just because we're never going to know any specifics. We're never going to know the details. And just because there's these fuzzy, multi-year, lucrative, blah, 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 like it doesn't mean there's any more information in that. It's just words. Like, the bottom line to me is this, Nick. The only thing that matters, the only thing that's relevant, I don't care about the term, I don't care about whatever, is ownership. If things get really bad, is ownership willing to move on from Bill Belichick no matter what is left on his contract? I've been told yes. There will be people who don't believe that, who think the Krafts are cheap and they won't do this. And they might be right. But all I can tell you is what I'm reporting, and that the Krafts will move on if it comes to it. And we'll see what happens at the end of the season, whether it happens. But, I don't think I think this is completely overblown. I think this is a talk radio story because it's different than the football team, which has mostly been bad, and they're just globbing onto it. And look, well, like I said last week, going into the Bills game, and I can't tell you how many emails and tweets I got from people saying like, how come you're not coming down stronger on the team? They're obviously dead. And, one paper's writing the time of death of the Patriots off of the last game. And I just refuse to do that because I've seen too many things covering the league for over 20 years and how things can change and how one game can change. I don't know whether that's going to happen now. So my stance, and I know it's not sexy, and I know we have a podcast to do today, and we have a talk radio show to do today. But the truth of the matter is there are going to be no decisions made on Bill Belichick until the season is over. We need to see all of it. We need to see Mac Jones. We need to see the offense. We need to see the season. If they close with 7 straight wins, that's going to change the calculation. So, it doesn't surprise me. My read on it is Bill was probably going into a lame duck year. That never happens with a coach. You always get extended going into a lame duck year. But the Krafts, if needed, they will walk away, or they probably have language built into it about buyout and deferred payments and like all this stuff. But the most interesting thing that I found from this, that Bill got an extension or new contract or whatever it is off of his second losing season in 3 years. And I have no problem with it because I think Bill Belichick has earned that. Like he has earned with what he's done for the Krafts, the franchise, the area, with the 6 Super Bowl titles and the unparalleled success. If I give him an extra $50 million, okay, fine. I've made that back. How many folds if I'm the Krafts with my franchise valuation? But the thing is, so I have no problem with that. What's ironic is that that's the respect contract that Tom Brady wanted after winning a Super Bowl title in 2018 that he never got from Bill Belichick. So Bill gets the respect contract, which he should. Tom doesn't. I think that's a bunch of bull crap. If I was Robert, I'd be like, well, we're just going to give you the Brady deal that you would give him and why you basically drove him out of town. So those are sort of my wide-ranging thoughts on it.
The CLNS Media Network is powered by FanDuel. Sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston and get in on the action with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose.
Went deep into this. We're short on time because Greg has to run to Felger and Maz and go through that pain for a couple of hours. But I will say you can check out my pod on the YouTube channel there, Nick Cattles. You can check that out for my in-depth breakdown about everything if you're interested. But I tend to agree with a lot of what you said, Greg. I read this situation as, all right, you got 1 year left on your deal, Bill, in 2023. What are we going to do about this? Well, let's tack on an extra year for 2024. And I would not be surprised if there's some kind of option for 2025. And that's where the whole several years, multi-years, all that crap comes in. I don't think Belichick or Kraft wanted Belichick to be a lame duck coach this year. It makes no sense to do that. And, he wants to break Shula's record. So I think Kraft gives him a chance to do that by extending him through 24, gives him an option 25 just in case this works out. And then they can revisit it later on. I think that's what likely happened. And I'd be flabbergasted if Kraft doesn't have protections within this contract. There has to be outs. What's the guaranteed all of those things.
Yep.
Earned it. The earned it thing that you mentioned for what Belichick has done, I think you earn it to a point. I do think 25 and 26, the previous 3 years, the Patricia Joe Judge decision, how Bill handled the quarterback position since Brady left, Jarrett Stidham, anybody remember that? Cam Newton off the scrap heap. So I think if this was what I think it was through 24 and then the option, I'm okay with it. If this was Kraft giving Belichick like through 2025, or I think that's malpractice. I think that's bananas. I don't think you can go beyond 24 with some outs built in. I think that's bad by the owner. And I'll just say this to wrap it up. I tend to believe the people that work, and I'm not saying that Ian Rappaport was wrong or Schefter. I'm not saying that. The details, the language, all of that. I tend to lean towards the guys and the women that have sources for a number of years built up and have been around. And I know Rapp was for a little while, but Jeff Howe's report going back a couple weeks ago, which was months after this negotiation, told us that Kraft was willing to pull the trigger on Bill. Greg's told us that Kraft's willing to pull the trigger. Tom Curran has said it. Mike Reese said it today on Bertrand and Zoe, or Zolak and Bertrand. So Mike Reese has also said that. Karen Garigian, who I love her work. She is an OG. She knows a ton of people. Her and Tom Curran have been working on the beat for like a combined 60 years. And they both say Belichick's not safe. That's the message. That's what matters the most.